Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, there were some whispers that Star Trek Prodigy was going to be released in July, but there really wasn't anything to talk about. They hadn't given a date. They hadn't sort of talked about how they're going to release it. Was it going to be in blocks or weekly episodes or all at once or what? They didn't say anything. So there really wasn't anything to talk about. But now we've got more information. Now they're releasing the series on July 1st, and they are just dumping the whole season, all 20 episodes in one go, one day, done. So there appears to be no attempt to build the series up, to build the fan base, to support the show. They're just dumping the whole thing like content, because that's all it is to them. They just bought it as content. It's just there. It's filler. It's content. That's it. There's no attempt to build the show up and get a following and get a third season, because there was some weird fantasy fans had where they weren't, that Paramount didn't just cancel it and dump it because it was costing them money just to keep it on the platform. Like, they didn't just cancel it, they threw it off the platform, they scrubbed it off the platform, and they sold it to Netflix because Netflix just needs content, particularly animated content, because they don't have an animation studio anymore. They closed it all down. But there was some fantasy that, it will somehow be popular and somehow get so many views now, even though it was unpopular before and was so badly rated, such low views that they got rid of it because it was costing them money to keep it. So they had this fantasy that they'd get a third season on Netflix if it did well, but they're clearly not intending that, because they would have been releasing it with some sort of strategy, some idea of keeping it in the public sort of consciousness, actually keep it in the eye of the viewers, and have it. How you do that is you have it show weekly or in blocks that you promote and you anticipate, and then you wait for the next block. There are ways to structure a release of a streaming show that has some benefits, because really the best the best example we had was TV. Weekly episodes, you spread the episode over a period of time, people live with it, it becomes a part of their everyday life, people talk about it as part of their community, the culture. It's like, that's the way shows should be released. But unfortunately, Netflix and a lot of streamers, they just dump them in one go like content. Sure, they get a big hit in one go, they get a lot of hours watched, but then it's just over and done with. People don't have the time to do separate reviews, they don't get the time to really look at it properly. It just sort of is gone in a week. And sort of the way they treat Hollywood films, where they just spend a lot of money on promotion, have a big wide release, and it's either a big hit in the first week or it's a flop, and then it's gone a couple of weeks, and then we forget about it. And this is not the way to build support and followings for TV shows and movies and franchises and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the people in Hollywood are just money people. They went to business school, they don't understand art, they don't understand film, they don't understand TV, they don't understand fans and franchises, and they don't know what they're doing. So this is an example of that. They're just buying this as content and dumping it as content, and there's no hope of them doing another season. It's not happening. They're not going to pay someone to produce another season of this show, another studio, when it doesn't get any views, and there's no way. They've absolutely doomed it by releasing it this way as well. And I know a lot of people will be like, no, it's great, we get to watch the whole thing, and like, no. But yeah, so I just had to comment on that because I thought it was interesting. I really thought they would have given it a normal release, and since they had all 20 episodes, they would spread it out weekly and make it an event, because the first season should have done that, but they broke it into two 10-episode blocks, which was one season, which was just a mistake. They should have just... Because how these animated shows usually work is they pay for a block of episodes, and they usually take a long time to do them because animation takes a long time, and they release chunks, and they split one order into multiple seasons like they did with She-Ra, where people still think that show went for years. It was made over like 1 year or something, and they just released the 52 episodes in like 5 different seasons or something. That's what they should have done here. They should have had the first season, which ran weekly for a couple of months. The first 10 episodes should have been season 1 and stopped it there, and then said, oh no, this is our break, now we're having season 2 come out next year, and they could have had season 2 10 episodes, and then they could have done season 3 as 10 episodes probably before it got cancelled, and maybe if they'd actually managed to put some money into promoting it, they might have actually got some more viewers, and maybe it would have stayed on the air. But instead they just decided to do the whole season as 20 episodes. They had it off the air, not in the public consciousness, just waiting for them to finish the season, release the whole thing or at least release it. Even if they were going to do the week to week, they could have at least not had a gap. And that was a mistake as well. So they should have just done 4 small seasons of 10 episodes. Would have done a better job of keeping it, in the public, in people's minds. Instead, they broke one season up, then had a big, huge gap where no one was, there was nothing to, there was no anticipation for anything coming, and it was just a mess. They've just treated this badly. It is a good Star Wars show. It's basically Star Wars Rebels, this ragtag group of, it's not Star Trek, it's not Starfleet, it's nothing, there's no humans in the show. But as far as a Star Wars show, a Star Wars animated show, it's actually really quite good. And it deserved better than this. But it's still not Star Trek, and I'm glad it's gone and cancelled. And hopefully, with all these shows gone, we might actually get the next show to be produced under the Star Trek IP actually be Star Trek or something that resembles it.